also mentioned at the plan commission by one of the commissioners was including a bike rack. Do we know that that's included?
That was agreed that they do that. They provide a bike rack.
All right, so if we can have that in the minutes, that would be great. And then we just talked at the tourism commission meeting plus at Public Works about charging stations for electric cars. So I'd like to make an amendment that they include a charge station, a general use charge station.
I didn't include that. Can we require them to do that?
I don't. You're getting dangerously close.
Yeah, I don't think we can require them to do that.
Yeah, as far as what sort of I don't think you can require that they have a charging station.
I think it would be wise to have them include it themselves. And then the last issue that was raised over extensive meetings on different projects and specifically on this one, I'd like to make an amendment that the city may require the developer to pay for future traffic controls if requested within 5 years with an appropriate fee level. Second.
Here's the difficulty. Really what you're talking about is an impact fee. And in order to justify the impact fee, you'd have to do a specific study.
Correct. That was part of my motion.
Well, that would happen, but they'd have to pay it retroactively. Yeah, that's what you're saying. The impact fee.
No.
Alderman Flower.
So I have a question, well, a couple questions. One, with the Stone Ridge, we had an agreement in that developer's agreement that if signals were warranted within a certain amount of time, that the developer was to pay a certain percentage of those signals as determined by the DOT or the county. So I think that there are ways to have developments retroactively pay at a future date for something that they may be attributing to from a cost perspective. And development and the types of trips that you're going to get out of that Kwik Trip, I think if they don't warrant it with the traffic study for that site alone, if that site is combined with whatever's going to happen over on Town Line, like the Ridges, or if any of those other developments occur, signals may be warranted with all those other developments occurring, and then we would want to potentially break those cost percentages out amongst those individual sites. And I've been in the middle of a lot of those things on the other, when I've worn other hats as a consultant and representing developers. So if the intent is for us to design, is to get a study of our own done that incorporates not only that site, but the other sites that we see future development occurring, and then determine if that signal is warranted, I think that at least gives us a chance to do that study.
You can justify it. Good luck.
Right, that's the point though, is within 5 years, a study would have to be done, and if it's in conjunction with other impacts, that's different. But the idea is that the developer is agreeing to a portion of that impact, not the whole impact necessarily. And we're not, I know at Plan Commission there was discussion of a percentage, like that's what happened in the Center Street one. It actually specifies 50% should be paid. I didn't include that as part of my motion. I said that percentage should be determined at that time after the impact. I think we owe it to residents.
So that's
my amendment, and it was seconded by.
About everybody understand? Okay, all in favor?
What are we looking at?
Mary Jo, you wanna reiterate your,
The motion that was actually made was a motion to amend by President Richards. Pay for future traffic control paper costs will be used at an appropriate fee level with the second $5.
And I would like added the, that we would have to do an impact study or a traffic study.
traffic study.
Yeah, I thought I said that, but I didn't.
Alderman Dunn?
What about everybody else in the area? The cheese box, the candy store, the liquor store, they're all contributing. The Chevy dealership, the factories that are down the road, Badger High School, they're all contributing to the traffic in the area. Why are we singling out this one business that's been there longer than a lot of these other places?
Alderman Flower?
As a previous developer, engineer for developers, I can tell you that certain types of developments will bring more trips to an area than others. And typically you have your background traffic amount of people that are already there. And when you add some specific changes to a site, it triggers more trips, which is what gets you to that next level that all of a sudden now you have more needs there than you had before. In the past, we were able to, in the current background noise of traffic, we're able to manage it with stop signs. With the Kwik Trip, if you've been to the Kwik Trip that's up on Broad Street, you will see that there is like 10 times the amount of vehicles that go to that gas station than any kind of gas station. And it's because it's kind of got a little mini grocery in there as well. It brings a lot more trips than your typical gas station. And with the proposed future commercial development that we're going to have along Edwards Boulevard, and with Symphony Bay's development, who skated the system and didn't have to put those signals in at Town Line or at Bloomfield, we know that we already have more going on out there and those people are going to go to this Kwik Trip, I'll guarantee you. And along with what's going to happen along that corridor with commercial, all along Edwards, the whole, the corner, it's escaping me, the other one that's getting Town Line and
The name of the development.
yeah, so the one that's on the corner of Town Line and Edwards, that development that's going to have more people, those people are going to go to the Kwik Trip. They're all within a certain distance and a certain radius of that development. So that's why it makes sense to do a more broad approach review of a traffic assessment from the city's perspective on all of those parcels, so that we can percentage distribute those costs amongst those new developments. And that is standard practice, just so you guys all are aware. That is standard practice. Typically we do it before the development comes. So in this case, we're kind of doing it in hindsight with Kwik Trip and trying to catch them on as a, keeping them on the hook and not deal with it like we did for Symphony Bay, where we just said, you don't need it today, you guys aren't liable for those signals, now you and the school can put them in on your own. That's not the way things should happen. The rest of these taxpayers of our city shouldn't be paying for what they're causing to occur at those intersections. They should be accountable for it. And so I think it makes sense for us to get our ducks in a row. And if there's a way that we can get this in the developers agreement ahead of time at this point, it makes sense.
I'd like to be Kwik Trip's lawyer in this one, but okay.
It's fine. Let's have a conversation.
All right, everybody understand the motion? Lana, let's do a roll call, please.
Flower,
Yes.
Halverson, Hedlund, Howell,
No.
Dunn,
No,
Bessemeyer,
Yes.
I'm done.
Finished?